Are y'all ready?
We're ready.
Are y'all ready?
The intro was still going, man. Mark was still talking. We're good. We're good.
I don't know. Listen, I need like at least half a second to take a deep breath before the show starts. And you guys are, what were you arguing about?
Salads
We're
at fast
really
food restaurants.
arguing, yeah, salads and well, chicken sandwiches to a certain degree are disappearing.
I asked if salads and fast food kind of went hand in hand. If it was like, is that really the demographic you're going for?
Listen, if you
Fast food,
all
hey,
I'm
we have our
saying is-
salad.
all I'm saying is, if you go with like a group or 5 or 6 people to a fast food restaurant, 9 times out of 10, there's gonna be one person who's like, "They got a salad?
Not this
They
guy.
got a salad?" Or
You go to a fast food restaurant and you try to get salad. What are you doing with your life? But that being
That's
said,
a great point.
that being said, there's so many better options. You want a salad? Go to Publix. Publix has great salads.
sure, but public time's great. Everything.
I love a Publix salad. But you know, if you're going to the Golden Arches or the one with the crown, what are you doing?
Well, that's where everyone else is going.
Get some
so it's
nuggets.
Like you're
You-
there.
yeah, you
now.
get some nuggets. It's one
Yeah.
one thing of nuggets isn't gonna kill you. All right. A lot of people hear the voice of Kevin Thomas and they're checking their watches and they're like, "Is it 3:00?"
It could be.
It is not 3:00.
It's Friday.
Yet.
We're all trying to hurry this thing
Yeah,
up.
it is not 3:00 yet. Kevin, it's a great point. It is Friday, so we want to have some fun, and the Braves are not giving us a lot of fun at the moment because defense is terrible.
You got to catch the ball.
Yeah, defense is terrible. Offense chose like one night to show up so far this year.
Is that Bull Durham was like, you catch the ball,
Yeah.
you throw the ball,
Yeah, it's not
hit the ball.
it's not overly difficult. But that being said, I mean maybe it is. I don't know. But that being said, Braves have not given us a lot
Right.
of things to celebrate, and it's a Friday, and so we're not going to do too much complaining yet. I'm probably still going to complain at some point.
It's too early for complaining in the season right now.
Is it ever really?
What is sports talk radio if not
No, I
complaining?
know. I'm saying, but the average fan is like, yay, we won a World Series. What is going on with this team?
Oh my God, Alex Anthopoulos. No, listen, you're waiting on Ronnie to get back.
I think that is
Yeah.
100% accurate.
Yeah, you're waiting on
Marcell Ozuna should never see the outfield
ever
again.
again. Like that whole thing where it's like, oh, maybe they'll do like a DH by platoon where
No.
it's like you kind of rotate through. Nope, never again. Marcell Ozuna is going to put on 20 pounds because he's not going to have to run at
Yeah.
all. He's going to start the season looking like he is now. By the end, David Ortiz. But that being said, I want to bring some happiness into some joy. And one of my favorite things, Kevin Thomas is an encyclopedia of baseball. Well, I'll say like 90s Braves and country music.
Mhm.
And I saw on the old TikTok a great clip of Jack White, and I forget the podcast that he was on, but he's on a podcast that like,
Sure.
hey, we heard a rumor that you can identify a Beatles song by just hearing 2 notes. Like any Beatles song from the entire catalog, you can identify it by hearing 2 notes. And sure enough, they played 10 songs. He got 9 out of 10. And the one that he missed, if you played both of the opening 2 notes, extremely similar.
basically the same.
Yeah. So Jack White, Rain Man of Beatles songs.
Great artist as well.
Right.
Yes,
Well, he's an amazing artist. Did you hear the national anthem that he did for the Tigers opening day?
I did.
That
Yeah.
was awesome.
Mhm.
But that being said, Kevin Thomas, we were going to do the same challenge that Jack White did,
Okay.
but I have some of the top songs from the 90s.
Okay. And
Country-
I'm only going to get 2 notes.
Country music songs. I'm going to give you about a second.
All right.
And so I got your headphones turned up.
Yep.
And here are the rules. You can ask for it to be replayed, each song to be replayed if you want it to be replayed.
Do you
but I'm
consider
not
it-
going to give you more of these songs.
Do you consider it cheating if I just keep asking for the same one note over and over again, or the 1 second? Like, are you more impressed if I
I'll
get it
let
on the first
PJ
go?
I'll let PJ make that ruling.
I'm just saying, are you more impressed if I get it just like
Yeah,
first here go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So that being said, we have 10 songs here. 90s country music.
All right.
Seeing if Kevin can nail it. 'Cause he's a man of many talents. You hear him talk about sports for 3 hours a day on here. That's not all he can do.
Yeah,
Man, if you're ever lost in Middle Georgia and just
And
for
need
some
to
reason-
know how many people are in your town.
literally like any street. He knows like any street ever. Like
I don't know
it's crazy.
streets. I know population basis.
That's right. So if I was
don't know.
in Baxley, Georgia right now,
The city or the county probably has about 45,000 in it or so.
all right.
50, I don't know. Look it up. Huh?
I don't need to look it up. You just told me.
Exactly.
All right, so-
the word is golden.
Are you ready to get this challenge started?
Yeah, go
I
ahead.
have
Yeah.
10
10 songs.
10 90s country music songs. Can you say country or do you have to say country music? 10 90s country music songs. And I'm going to play about a second and see if Kevin can identify them. So our first one up on the board.
Oh, that's kind of like a crescendo in. Do it again. Oh, that I got the little blast at the end that kind of helped me out because I was about to say something else, but that's a Shania Twain song, isn't it? Any Man of Mine.
That is Any Man of Mine by Shania Twain.
Well, I was gonna go because at the beginning is it was had the if you listen to it, it has very Lone Star. Anytime my heart beats, so I was like, but then I heard that one little jab at the end. Otherwise, I'd have been lost. Go ahead.
All right, so I was generous. I was generous.
Tighten it up, Christian.
Yeah, I was generous with my time there, but we'll make this more difficult.
Oh my gosh!
We go. All right, here we go. Number 2. He's 1 for 1.
Oh my goodness! Go do it again. There's a fiddle part that comes in, and I'm do it one more time. Oh no! You're letting it go a little longer, and so you're like,
he did. We're gonna have to cut you off after the next
that.
one.
Like I'm hearing it, and it's like I'm changing my tune. That's Check Yes or No, George Strait.
That absolutely is Check Yes or No.
By
George
just
Strait.
that one, because I was thinking it was again another.
Well, it's just I don't know because like the Beatles songs actually have 2 musical notes, whereas a lot of these start with a lot of drums.
Yeah.
Yeah, which could
That's
be.
very
I
true.
mean, until you
Yeah.
hear some semblance of something, it's.
So I'm
difficult.
trying to be fair, but that being said,
Well, every time I've
Understandable.
heard it for like the third
this
time,
next one,
it's
if
that
you don't
one
get
little-
it the first time, I'm gonna smack you. And there's video proof. All right, here we go.
do it again. That's so little. It's like a go one more time. That's
You want one more
that's
time?
Toby Keith. Should have been a cowboy.
It is
there
absolutely.
it is.
That I mean, that was. I had
That
enough
one
of the thing
especially.
that.
This is going to be the worst segment of all time for our podcast listeners
yeah.
and for the people watching on the stream right now. All right.
No, I'm just saying when you get like a drum beat, like quack. What is
Yeah.
that song? I don't.
But that's that one especially. You talk about very drummy. I mean, that is just.
yeah.
You got that one.
Listen, we do a lot of like digital stuff. We do a lot of stuff on the
The
podcast.
giveaway is that one
Sometimes-
little sliver of a
Sometimes we got to give a little bit back to the radio listeners. All right, here we go. You're 3 for 3.
I want to say I'm gonna be. There's so many that start with that little fiddle pull.
Hold on. PJ, can I let it go to a second here?
No, I mean, I want to say it's that should be Tim McGraw where the green grass grows.
Holy
like that.
cow.
Just like
Holy cow.
Yeah,
That wasn't even a second.
I was making sure I was like on the like I didn't know if you were throwing me
That
like hey.
wasn't even a second. All right, 4 for 4.
I'm assuming you weren't like I had to make sure because I was like Toby. Okay,
All right,
making sure I wasn't going like back to back the same artist.
here we go.
That's Strawberry Wine, Dina Carter.
Wow.
I mean that's.
He's heating up, folks. He's heating
You're
up.
just like
He's
that.
heating
I've
up.
listened to so many songs.
He's heating up. All right,
That
you're 5
was
for 5. We're at
that was a
halftime right now.
first
How you
pitch
feeling?
Grand slam. That's what that was. First pitch.
Yeah, we gotta have a little sip of water or something and get refreshed.
All right, here we go.
Boy, I was really feeling like I was gonna be stumped on a lot of these. Some of these are getting just enough to make it happen. Go ahead. That's oh my gosh. That's that's the Grundy County auction. I was almost by John Michael Montgomery. I thought I was going.
What's the name of the song?
Sold.
Okay.
Wow. Good.
At first that has a similar beginning to another song, but
That's a great song.
I think the only thing that slowed him down there was our reaction to him just knowing it immediately.
Yes.
Like,
That is
well,
wow.
I mean, you know,
That's
you hear
insane.
these songs enough, and
All right, everybody should get this one. Here we go. 7, trying to go 7 for 7.
oh, this is good.
that's Alan Jackson, Chattahoochee.
Chattahoochee. Let's just
Wow. They
That
only
that one
needed
feels
half a
like a
second.
Friday afternoon.
That, I,
Really
even,
does.
I even kind of like halfway talked over that, and he knew
Yeah.
it. And he still knew it.
Yeah, I was gonna say I almost didn't hear it, but I
Yeah,
heard
that's
enough.
my bad. That's my bad.
All right,
So I'm
here we go.
7 for 7.
You're 7 for 7.
Less than a second.
We're trying to go. Here we go.
Dun, 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 dun. I'm trying to think of the song. Dun, dun, dun,
We've
dun,
gotten
dun,
more-
dun, dun.
We've gotten
He
more.
can play it on the
Kevin-
guitar right now, but he doesn't know what it
Yeah.
is.
We've gotten more Kevin singing than I thought we would.
I know. This is really
my
the whole
goodness.
point of all of this.
Dun, dun,
You wanna hear it one more
dun,
time?
dun, dun. No, go ahead. I should know what this.
This is what's going to stump you?
Dun, 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 dun.
It's crazy.
Is that,
Yeah.
am I on the?
You are on the right track.
It's a female singer, right?
No.
No.
Wow.
No. Do you want to come
Oh.
back?
Let's come back to that
All
one. I should know this, but I'm maybe I'm
He has the
We'll come back. We'll come
I'm
back.
going the wrong
We're
way.
still 7 for 7. Here we go.
That's Travis Tritt.
What song?
Here's a quarter.
Call someone who
Yeah.
cares.
gracious.
That's a great song, PJ.
It really is. Had to quit playing it because much like I don't know if you know the story behind this. For all you young folks who have no idea what change is or a payphone,
Okay, wait a minute.
when you when you had to pull over and call somebody to stick a quarter, like he used to play this in concert and he quit playing it because people would throw quarters at him on stage. You're like, oh, come on, man, it's 25 cents. He goes, do you know how hard you have to throw a quarter when you're upper tank watching my show and it hit me in the head? The same reason Leonard Skinner used to play a song called "Give Me Back My Bullets," and people used to throw live ammunition on the stage. You're like, yeah,
Goodness
we
gracious.
probably need to quit playing
Yeah,
that
we
song
should
live. Yeah,
probably not. All right, so you are 8 for 8. We have one outstanding.
I got to go back.
But let's get our final one here.
That's a that's a Joe Diffie song.
Goodness gracious.
John Deere Green.
Oh my
I had to-
goodness.
I had to sing it
Amazing.
through a
Out of,
little bit.
off of
This is
this.
amazing.
Off of
That's all drums, isn't it?
that's just somebody hitting a snare.
Yeah.
That's what it was, right? The other one's gonna kill me. I'm not.
That's
I'm not.
amazing.
Apparently, it's like me and Jack White. You only go 9 of 10.
All right, come. No.
Go do it
You're
again.
you're getting this one. Here we go. Because you're
And I
literally
know I
playing.
know it.
You're literally playing the song in your
Yeah.
head.
I just can't remember. I swear, the only thing that is coming up is a female voice.
It is a very sweet song. I'll say that.
I can't.
It's insane.
I'm trying to hear the first words of the song, and I can hear. I mean, I can hear it. And I
If we
don't
let
sing it.
him
Don't
go-
sing
that's
it.
the thing. If we let him go, he could probably do the whole song like that.
I know. I'm just trying to hear the first words, and I can't hear it in my brain. Oh, that's Brooks and Dunn, My Maria.
Let's go!
I was like, I tried to. I mean, I knew that song. I was just like, I was
Goodness
trying to.
I was so nervous.
It took me a minute.
Yep. I'll tell you what. You just said, "Oh, I'm a lot like me and Jack White." Well, no. It's just you.
Yeah, no, it's just I-
standing
You
alone
stand
Yes.
alone.
I stand alone.
on top of '90s country music.
Kevin Thomas is a
Stick
better
it, Jack
musician than
White.
Jack White. Confirmed. Confirmed.
Record that. Send it to Jack White.
Yes.
Yeah, no.
Immediately.
That was fun. I mean, I like I said, I've done stuff like that in the past where it's like, you give me
Oh, we
90s
spent,
country.
there was
you
like
can
one
sit-
there was like one day where we didn't have shows because of the Braves, and they were like
you went
in a-
through your whole
when
iTunes
they were in a
playlist.
rain delay, and so I just pulled up Spotify, and I started playing country songs, and it was like literally a second, and he's like, "No, that's." And I'm just like, bro, nobody knows that Lone Star song, and you're just like, yep, that's it.
I mean,
It's incredible.
my wife wants to know why I can't remember to take out the trash, but I can remember.
Oh,
I can remember 90s country songs.
Kevin, before you
You throw
go,
away all the useless knowledge.
Amy, that's a hell of a burn.
yes.
the
but-
useless knowledge.
Yeah, before you go, how what's wrong with the Braves? Because there is something.
I
wrong.
mean, I don't know that there's a lot wrong with the Braves other than just bad luck. I mean, they got dominated by Joe Musgrove last night.
you've
That-
gotten beat by 10 like twice.
Well, I understand. Well, I mean, and then I not to sound like BJ Bennett, but is there a difference in getting beaten 11-1 and 8-1? I mean, not really.
I know,
I mean,
but still, okay. So
I
you've
think-
gotten smoke checked twice.
I think Joe Musgrove pitched a heck of a ball game last night. That just kind of was one of those things. You're playing a guy or going up against a guy tonight who's in his major league debut. He's one of their top prospects, getting called up just to pitch tonight against Cal Wright. I think there's some signs that the Braves are better than what their record says. And again, it's not like they're. I was telling this to Ben earlier. It's like it's not like they're 1-8. They're 3-5. It's not great, but I mean, as you're not sitting there going you're out of it by any. Also, the Colorado Rockies have the best record in Major League Baseball. So I mean, are we freaking out
Hey,
about that? I mean,
Hey, those are Cody Queen's
no,
Colorado
I
Rockies.
like the Rockies too, but they're not
Are
going
they
to stay
still-
there.
I don't know what hour. Is it?
It depends on who he's supporting this week. But
Yeah.
no,
True.
I mean, they're not going to stay there. But you look at a lot of the lineup is hitting the baseball. It's just not falling in. The guy that's concerning right now is Dansby because he's striking out a bunch, but we've seen him work out of that before. I think Alex Dickerson finally got one to fall in. Ironically, he's had some of the hardest hit balls on the Braves, and his hit was a bloop shot. So maybe some of that will fall in. I do think if I'm Snicker, I try to shake the lineup up. Matt Olson's getting on base. He's got 1 RBI, and that was because he hit a home run. Nobody's in front of him to drive in any runs. Same with Austin Riley. And Rosario, Dansby Swanson, and who's there at the Swanson at the bottom, Rosario,
Pena,
your DH,
yeah.
Pena when he's in as the backup catcher. They're all collectively batting like 100. You can't live off the bottom half of your lineup not able to even put a ball in play, really. And so I think that's going to turn around. I can't imagine 7, 8, 9 spots are going to bat 100 for the rest of the season. So you figure it's going to even out, and when it does, I think the Braves will make a big turn. I think it's going to look bad in the short term because you're playing the Padres, who are a good team, and mind you, did not have.
Can't go to LA
Did not have
and have
Tatis,
Freddie Freeman
but you
smack
are
us around.
but you are going to LA next, and I think that's a series people are looking at. If you get it taken to you pretty good there, I think people will start to have some questions. But right now, off to a rough start.
You don't want to start 7 games under 500.
No, well, right now they're 2. I mean, so
I know, but like you said, you got a swing coming up against the Dodgers, and you have 2 more left against the Padres.
3 more
left
against the
against the
Padres.
Padres,
So
yeah.
you want to win a couple of those. If you can win 1 or 2 against LA, I think that'd be good. And then come back around and get it going. I think some guys are off to some slow starts. If I'm Snit, I'm shaking up the lineup a little bit. I probably time to sit Dansby at least for a day and just say, look, man, like your defense is solid, but obviously right now you're a strikeout machine, which I know in today's analytics, people would say, oh, that doesn't matter. It matters. Like you're a total non-productive out. Like I'm kind of old school in that, where like hit the ball to the right side, ground out, move a runner, pop fly, anything other than go down swinging. And it's still probably okay. But I think he leads the majors in strikeouts. It's not good.
Well, hey, you can't lead the majors in strikeouts if you're not getting those ABs, though. So, at least he's
one
up
way
there.
to look at it.
At least he's up there, baby, taking them hacks. All right.
That's one way to look at it.
Kevin, 10 for 10. You can hear it for 3 hours coming up here on 3 and Out, taking you in to Braves
If
baseball
the
coming
Braves
up.
struggle, maybe we'll just do that for 3 hours. You just find 300 snippets
Kevin,
of 1 second.
Kevin,
See how many
you don't think I can find that many country songs?
I think you could.
Absolutely. Kevin, appreciate it, man.
Yep.
We'll take a quick break. We'll come back with more on Second Down right after this. I wonder if old Tim McGraw is still upset about not seeing the Braves play a game all year because it hasn't been a whole lot of fun to watch.
I mean, have they played a game all year?
They-
Because
they-
it doesn't look
they've-
like it.
They've been
No, I'm
out
just
there
kidding.
on the field.
I'm just kidding.
They've been out there on the field, but it's been
It's been rough here and there.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Snicker, start of the year, just kind of clunky.
Yeah. There's a lot of things you can kind of blame it on, I guess, if you want. But I think the most common thing I hear, especially this first week, is something we've talked about already, and I've kind of used as a reason, but now it's starting to get out of it. Like, okay, every team had a short spring training. I feel like that was the most common thing. Well, it's a short spring training. Maybe there's just some rust on. Well, they had they had the celebrations and whatnot after the World. Blah blah blah. It's a short spring training. Maybe they're just taking some time.
Who are
to
you
get into it.
imitating?
No, I'm done with it now. All right, 3-5. We're already a week in. We're going to play Mr. Freddie Freeman and the rest of the Dodgers here in a minute.
It's true.
Time to snap up, shape up.
All right. Well,
All right, no more excuses.
listen, there's a reason why they play 162, and it's because you're going to go through stretches like this, and you're going to go through stretches where you win a bunch of games, and it's kind of the cream rises to the top, and you have that huge sample size throughout the whole year. So
True.
I'm not hitting an alarm button yet. Has it been really just crappy baseball to watch? Absolutely. Should you be concerned? Probably not. Like everything that you said before these 8 games still holds true.
Yeah.
So that's
absolutely.
kind of where I'm at with that.
No, understandable.
That being
I
said,
just kind of want to go off for a second.
hey, go off.
Every now and then.
Go off, King. That's whatever you got to do. We do have the draft coming up, and that seems a little bit more fun to talk about right now than Braves baseball, just because of how bad they have been. But our good friend Mark Bradley from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution, good friend of the show, he put out an article titled "Why the Falcons Should Draft a Quarterback in Round 1," and you can read the full column on AJC.com in their sports section. But the opening sentence: the Braves rebuilt and won the World Series. The Hawks rebuilt and drew within 2 games of the NBA Finals. The Falcons remain reluctant to utter the R word. Rebuild.
Are they? What?
Rebuild.
Okay.
I think he's saying that the team won't. Terry Fontenot, Arthur Smith, Arthur Blank, they won't actually say
Won't admit
they're
to it.
going into a rebuild. And then Mark Bradley continues, but you don't trade a franchise quarterback for a round 3 pick if you're in Super Bowl or bust mode. So 2 things there. Falcons should draft a quarterback, according to him. And also the Falcons are in rebuild mode, even if they won't say it. So let's address both of those. I want to address the second part first. The Falcons, I don't know if they are in a rebuild mode by design. I think they are in a rebuild mode by attrition.
Right.
Where I really don't think Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith believe that they have to quote unquote rebuild. I think they're looking at this as a 1-year hiatus. And I know it sounds crazy, but they apparently like their offensive line. Everybody loves Grady Jarrett, obviously. Really like AJ Terrell. I legitimately think this team believes, hey, if we can clear that Julio Jones and Matt Ryan contract going into next year, we'll have a ton of money to spend in free agency, and the draft lines up a little bit better for our needs next year, right? So I don't know that they're willing to say, maybe you'd call that a rebuild. I don't inherently think that's a rebuild. I think of rebuilds as more than a 1-year process, typically in my mind. And I think this is a team that believes that they can compete next year to get back in the playoffs.
As long as they make the right moves this year, I would agree with you.
Like when I think rebuild, I think like NBA teams tanking for like 4 or 5 seasons so they can get a bunch of lottery picks and rebuild.
Right.
I don't think 1-year hiatus. Now, I'll say this: 1-year hiatus from what? 7-9, 7-9, 7-10, 4-12.
Right. I think that would be my only argument, I guess, against you to a certain extent. Is like, yeah, where's this team then been?
But has that been a rebuild, or has that been like fighting time?
It was kind of like, yeah, I guess, because there was potential. Like, again, I don't go into most years for the Falcons being like, oh, this is just going to be a trash year. Most of the time I go in like the past 4 or 5 years have been, there's some really good pieces on offense. Julio Jones, Matt Ryan's still there. I mean, they got Calvin Ridley. If they can just figure a thing or two out and the season goes right, man, they might be in the playoffs. So like, that's why I kind of like devil's advocate, I guess, over the past year or two. I think last year, if you're going to call it a rebuild, like the last year and a half has kind of put you there.
Yeah. But last year is not a rebuild if you keep Matt Ryan.
Right.
Right. And they decided to keep Matt Ryan and try to win with him.
Yeah. But then like everything, like you said, it's the attrition effect. Everything around him, though, kind of forced them into this. Like you get rid of Julio Jones. Calvin Ridley goes off the field.
I don't know if you get rid of Julio Jones. I think you were fighting time. And like we saw last year, Julio Jones couldn't stay on the field. And he's just an older. I don't say that enough. He's an like a bad way. Yeah, he's an older wide receiver. So it's just since 28-3, you have been fighting time, and very much what he said it was Super Bowl or bust. You spent huge on some guys, and you betted on that. Hey, we got there one time, we can get back there again, even without Shanahan, and you didn't get there.
Right.
And so I just don't know if this front office has really bought into we're in a rebuild mode.
Yeah.
That being said, the title of the column is why the Falcons should draft a quarterback in round 1.
That's why, I thought those two kind of conversations, I guess, were kind of odd. Not from your point.
Well, no, I think if you do draft a quarterback round 1, it signals, hey, we are in full rebuild mode because you don't have anything else around him really on offense.
Yeah.
Whereas if you go and draft a Chris Olave, a Garrett Wilson at number 8 overall, right?
Right.
You're saying we got a wide receiver. Marcus Mariota's a good quarterback. He's not great. He's a good quarterback. We still have Cordero Patterson. We have Kyle Pitts. We have an offensive line we like. Why can't we go win some football games?
Right.
Right. So now I'm going to say this. If you truly feel like you need a quarterback, this isn't the year for one.
Exactly.
That's where I'm at on this. Mm-hmm. I really don't believe in any of the quarterbacks in this draft. I think the risk isn't worth the reward for a top 10 pick.
Could not agree more.
Like, just because you feel like you need a quarterback doesn't mean you need to spend a top 10 pick on one, especially in a draft that doesn't bear it out, especially with how many damn good quarterbacks are going to be there next year. I mean, just start with 2, right? Why am I forgetting the kid's name from Ohio State? And then Bryce Young from Alabama. Why am I? CJ Stroud. Thank you.
Yeah.
I don't know why I said thank you. He just made eye contact with me and he gave me CJ Stroud.
Yeah, I always forget his name too.
Yeah.
I try and forget it.
Oh, okay, because it's just.
I always remember Bryce Young.
That's torture secondary.
Will Anderson. There's some great players from Alabama. I can just name off the list. Ohio State. I don't want to remember any of them. I don't need that in my life. Sorry.
But like next year, like if you have the class of quarterbacks that are here right now, and you combine them with the guys that are coming out next year, do you think any quarterback is a round 1 quarterback from this year?
Maybe a Kenny Pickett. Maybe a Kenny Pickett. I'm kind of high on Kenny Pickett, but not like insanely. Like I think he's probably the most well-rounded, solid quarterback in this year's draft. I don't know if his ceiling is insanely through the roof, but I also don't know if his floor is that low, right? So I think you could get a really, really solid to incredible NFL career from Kenny Pickett. The other guys, a little bit too volatile for me, I think, to take a risk. So I think maybe next year Kenny Pickett would be there. The other guys would probably slip in the 2nd or 3rd round.
And I know a lot of people really like Malik Willis, and I think he has a lot of talent. But again, a top 10 pick, I don't know if he's there. And I look at a couple of things, right? Go to the Ole Miss game from last year because you want to see him. He can cook Troy and he can cook Syracuse and UAB and Middle Tennessee State and Monroe and stuff like that, right? Fine. Get it. Cook him up. What did you do against the 2 best defenses you played all year? And he played them in not back-to-back weeks, but back-to-back games. They had a bye week in between. You were at Ole Miss, 16 for 25, 173 yards, 3 interceptions.
Yep.
Right? Very next game, Louisiana at home, 14 of 34, 162 yards, 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions. So within that 2-game stretch against the 2 best defenses he played all year, and to be fair, Louisiana, 10-win football team, double-digit wins, right? In the 2 games you had against the best 2 defenses you played, 2 touchdowns, 5 interceptions.
Yeah. And just from, I remember watching the second half of that Ole Miss game, and just also, I've kind of looked into Malik Willis quite a bit because there's been a lot of rumblings about Pittsburgh possibly going up and taking him. And especially in that second half, those 3 interceptions, those were forced balls, man. Like, there were some other options out there, and those were forced. So that, like you said, that kind of worries me a little too much with him.
And again, just with how good the guys are next year, I really feel like if you want a quarterback and you think that's what your team's going to need for the next 10 years, not for the next year, I think it's okay to wait a year, especially when you have Mariota.
Yep.
Right? He can get you over just fine for a whole year. It's not going to be embarrassing. It's not going to be Joey Harrington and Chris Redmond.
Right.
Right? It's not. And it's not going to be whatever was left over of Byron Leftwich. Right? You'll still be able to sell some tickets. Now, is it going to be like barren inside a Mercedes-Benz? Yeah. But that's pretty much how it's going to be either way this year.
Well, that's what we've already talked about it, right? It's because they're going to be everywhere else in the stadium too. Like that place you can have a sold out crowd.
But beyond that, I don't know how many people are even going to go there to go to the clubs they can't see the field.
True.
Inside Mercedes-Benz, right?
Yeah.
So it's rough right now for the Falcons. These are the dark days. We're back to 2006, 2007 era Falcons. It's rough, but I don't think you just grab a quarterback because you feel like you need one, because you need to start the rebuild right now.
Agreed.
Right? Rock it out with Marcus Mariota this year. He's a serviceable quarterback. You'll win some football games, but at the same time, I hate to say tank, and I don't feel like this coaching staff really knows what that means based off what we've seen the last couple of years. But your best bet is to hope. I would honestly say best bet, trade back in this draft, get some draft capital that you could potentially use to trade up next year.
That's a really good point. Yeah.
Like if somebody wants to jump from the 20s to number 8, you're going to need a first round pick next year.
Yeah.
Right?
Absolutely.
You'll need their first round pick and then their first round pick next year. And then maybe you can combine those, your first round pick next year and their first round pick next year, and try to move up to get one of those quarterbacks from next year's class if you feel like you need one. So I don't agree with taking a quarterback because you feel like you need one. I think this draft class is heavy on wide receivers. I think it's heavy on defensive linemen, and I think it's heavy on offensive tackles. Yep. I don't see a reason why you force a quarterback if one's not there.
No, you need to get the right one. It's not just
about I feel like you're agreeing with me because you just want Malik Willis to drop to the Steelers?
No, I'm not. But because like this is my thing. And once you read that out, I kind of like side-eyed it the whole time, because one, if the Falcons are in a rebuild, you don't just have to get a quarterback to start the rebuild, right? There's other ways to rebuild the team. So going out and getting the important parts of a football team, especially the ones you need right now, is the thing to do in my eyes, especially when the quarterbacks are kind of looking how they are in this draft. Like, you don't just go out, get a quarterback to get one.
Yeah.
Right? Make the best decisions for your team as a whole to rebuild this roster, because even if they aren't quote unquote in a rebuild, we've said it several times on this show, probably the worst roster in the NFL. So
outside of the Texans.
Yeah. So go out and get what you need to build this up. And then hopefully next year you'll be ready to go.
You know what the really good teams do? They just go draft the best players.
Yep.
Just go draft the best players. Because if you're consistently drafting, just using Madden ratings, if you're consistently drafting 75 overalls because you feel like they fit your position of need, you're going to have a team full of 75 overalls. If you go draft the best player, could you get a little lopsided at one position? That's fine. Seemed to work out for the 49ers when their defensive line carried them to the Super Bowl. Right? If you get lopsided with A+ players at one position group, fine. It beats the hell out of having 70s across the board.
Exactly.
Because you feel like you're drafting a quote unquote position of need. The Falcons need everything.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the worst thing you could do at number 8 is reach for a quarterback, because then you waste a pick. I think very similar to what the Packers did. Obviously, you don't have an Aaron Rodgers coming back, but they felt like they had to go get a franchise quarterback. And so they jumped up, traded capital, and reached for a quarterback, right? Don't reach, especially on a quarterback, because that, you want to talk about set a franchise back, that can set a franchise back. Let's take a quick break. We'll come back with more on Second Down right after this. Second Down on ESPN Radio is presented to you by the Uniform Source. Christian Gokel alongside PJ Zuko. Glad to have y'all hanging out this year on this Friday afternoon. PJ, a very important day in Major League Baseball.
Oh, yeah.
Jackie Robinson Day. On this date in 1947, Jackie Robinson became the first black player ever to suit up for a Major League Baseball game. So to honor him, is it just for tonight or for the weekend? I think it might be the weekend now.
Believe
that
it's the weekend.
all Major League Baseball teams will be wearing number 42 in honor of Jackie Robinson. You know where Jackie Robinson's from?
Where's that?
Cairo, Georgia.
Look at that. He's a syrup maker.
He
huh?
is not a syrup maker.
Oh,
I don't
really?
believe.
Whoa.
I don't believe. Yeah, John Moyer High School.
Okay.
For Jackie Robinson there. What I didn't know is his older brother. I mean, talk about a family. His older brother was a silver medalist at the 1936 Summer Olympics,
Holy cow.
and encouraged him to go out there and play a little baseball.
Good
Well,
for
not
him.
just baseball, play all the sports. I mean, he ran track at UCLA,
Right.
played football in high school. I mean, my dude was a do-it-all kind of an athlete, but, just great athletes from Georgia.
Yeah, no doubt. You always like to point that out for sure and give him some recognition. But no, an incredible day for Major League Baseball, and recognizing that. Love when this comes around every single year, and just as we've talked about before. I mean, as a lot of people have talked about, a great person who made a huge impact on the sport and on the world. So. Love the fact that we're being able to recognize him, not only as a great man making a great impact, but also an incredible baseball player as well.
Yeah,
obviously.
10-year MLB career. He won the Rookie of the Year award in 1947. He was an All-Star for 6 consecutive seasons, and he also was the first black player ever to win the NL MVP in 1949. So an unbelievable career. Believe played in 6 and won 1, I want to say, but won a World Series with the Dodgers there. So World Series champion. And again, like you said, PJ, just an unbelievable story. I mean, think he was, I'm trying to pull it up. Yep. First black vice president of a major American corporation, chock full of nuts. I mean, what a life.
Yeah, goodness gracious.
Like I
Did
said,
a little bit of everything.
just a great athlete from the old state of Georgia.
Absolutely.
If,
Absolutely. Good. Always.
I'd love to see other sports do something like this. I know the NFL has their months,
Yeah.
right? You have Cancer Awareness Month, and you have the Military Appreciation Months. I believe that's September for them, and so they have their different months. But I would love to see like a week where they let them wear just a number. I mean, I know it's tough. It's hard in the NFL,
Right.
right? But maybe
Mhm.
even if it's just like on the sleeve,
Yeah.
something like that.
Right.
Because
No,
I love
absolutely.
at certain colleges, right, where LSU actually has like 2 of them, but like their captain wears number 18,
Right.
and it's an honor. And then it's just basically like the DBU thing, like their best athlete on the team gets to wear number 7.
Yeah.
And so like you think back through the years, Patrick Peterson, Tyrann Mathieu wore it. Leonard Fournette wore it as a running back. DJ Chark wore it as a wide receiver.
Yeah.
Most recently, I think Derek Stingley Jr. was going to wear it.
And then had to be out last year.
Yeah.
Yep.
And so I would love to see more of that.
Yeah. No, that would be incredible. I think any type of good recognition like that. Also, some sort of, I would love to see more freedom with the cleats or like the accessories of some kind. But as you mentioned, being able to use that.
The
as
NFL has really loosened that up. They did have like
Yeah.
the cause cleats, like where they can wear the different cleats now.
Well, that's good then.
Yeah.
Okay.
The NFL's done that. Obviously, the NBA has always been like that. I don't know
For sure.
what the rules are in baseball, but just like uniform wise, honoring stuff like that, I'd love to see more stuff like that from the NFL. And there are so many different athletes they could choose from that vein. But again, today, Jackie Robinson Day made his debut in Major League Baseball there in 1947. So huge day all around sports. We got Braves baseball coming up a little bit later tonight following 3 and out. I know it's a sore subject, but trying to get back on the right track against their Padres.
Talking about
Listen,
the
if they can
Braves,
come
yeah.
back from that West Coast trip around 500, like a game either way,
Yeah.
you feeling okay?
I think you're fine. Yeah. Even then, like, man, I would extrapolate it out because, like you said, it's a long season. Teams can go on runs. It can be fine. Like, it can be okay. I think once you get down to like 5, 7, 8 games under 500, I think you start to worry a little bit more. If you can keep it within 5 or 6 games of 500, I think you're going to be okay as long as just no one freaks out. But
well, listen, you got your best pitcher on the mound tonight, and Kyle Wright, which absolutely nobody thought we were going to be saying before the season, but Kyle Wright hasn't given up a run yet. 6 innings pitched, 6 strikeouts, 1 walk for Kyle Wright in his season opener. He's going up against Mackenzie Gore. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back and get you the full lineup for the Braves. They have a 9:40 first pitch out there in San Diego. So we'll take a break. We'll come back, get that, and then get you over to 3 and Out. All that coming up next right here on ESPN Radio. All right. So in typical Brian Snitker fashion, I guess he's going to hold on to this lineup for as long as
Do
possible.
we expect anything less?
Listen.
Just trust your guys, Christian.
Well, then I would imagine in typical Brian Snitker fashion, we're probably not going to see any changes.
For a little bit.
He likes to rock out with his guys, and he's not gonna like Dansby. I think he's very close to leading the league in strikeouts.
Yep.
Yeah, that's my shortstop. I'm rocking with him. Sometimes to a fault, but hey, this guy won a World Series last year, so
It's true.
and everybody was yelling out about Will Smith. Oh, Will Smith got her done.
You said that about several. Well, because it obviously it happened. He did that with several different guys. I feel like as the season went on.
If
last
the
year,
fans had their way, Austin
Oh,
Riley
goodness,
would have been
yeah.
back in Single A last year, 2 weeks into the season,
in a heartbeat. Yep.
and he should have been on the MVP ballot.
Mhm.
So, listen, we get emotional. Brian Snitker stands there like a statue, stoic, staring out on the field like it's a battlefield, right?
It's true.
And my man won a World Series, so I don't question him. So again, we got Braves baseball coming to you all weekend long. Also have the Hawks in the playoffs starting tonight, but I think Braves are going to conflict with that. But we will keep you updated as the Hawks move through the playoffs. 3 and Out coming up next. Kevin Thomas, Ben Troop, right here on ESPN Radio.